Oh hi, wow, it's really British up here this morning, so that makes it a perfect day to talk about whether or not you should host your static website on AWS. Don't know if you can see it, but that is actually Canary Wharf in the distance there. Very prestigious. Just want to cover one thing. This wound on my face, it's not a birthmark. Got it in a mixed martial arts competition. I was quite surprised they'd let a 32-year-old man into a children's fighting competition, but here we have it. Let's discuss something very close to my heart and yours: pricing. If you go with a traditional provider, chances are you're going to be paying a fixed rate. You know, it could be anywhere from a few pounds a month to, well, I mean, it could be anything, to be fair. Depends on your usage, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say most people with a static site, the cost is not too high, because we're just trying to have maybe a small business advertising its pricing, its contact us form, stuff, etc, etc. So making the switch to AWS, you're going to be able to take advantage of the free tier, which gives you quite a large allowance of free minutes and data transfer every month. And pretty much that's going to take you through, on a lot of people, to no cost per month. And over that allowance, they're charging you on a per request, per data store rate, and that's different for each service that you might use in AWS. But you'll find that even though it is a little bit intimidating seeing all these different charges for small amounts of data here and there, overall it adds up to a very reasonable and usually low price. And quite frankly, if you've got a static website like myself with, and let's be honest here, low traffic, you're not going to end up paying anything. And that's actually to the benefit of AWS, because they want you to use the platform, they want you to learn how to use it, so that you can go on, get a job with a big player, a big company, say your Facebooks of the world, and then you already know everything about AWS, and you're going to suggest to them, let's host on AWS because it's really good, I know how to use it. So it's a feedback loop, really. They're offering a good price at the low end so that they can get a foothold in the developer community, and you need to take advantage of that. These other small providers, they're not bothered about that sort of thing, so they're just trying to charge money at the front end and make their bread and butter at that point. Let's talk locations, right? Where is your website in respect to your users? It makes a big difference. Obviously, the speed at which it travels to them is going to be impacted. So with a normal provider, usually they just tell you where their servers are located, and you've got, that's it. You've got to pick a different provider if you want a different location. With AWS, select your location from anywhere in the globe pretty much, and they'll have a machine in that area that you can store your files on. Ergo, when someone comes to your website, you've selected a location which is near your target audience, and that data travels to them uber fast. Also, on the flip side, if you accidentally put your website in the wrong place for your target audience, you're going to find slow speeds. So to be fair, double-edged sword. So you need to make sure you've got that set right, but as long as you do, that's going to be a big advantage. This is all part and parcel of the fact that AWS is a professional experience, and I would not recommend it to someone who has no clue what they're doing. If you need to just be click and play, definitely don't use them, because you're going to be in a world of hurt. But if you're a developer like myself, then it's going to benefit you in a lot of ways, and that is just one of them.
Hero,
This next one really ties into a similar topic to location of your server because it's CDN, and actually it's not the only extra that Amazon offers or AWS, but it's one I want to point out. They've got a super easy CDN to set that you can attach to your static website setup, and that means anywhere in the world that someone requests your site, when the next person after that comes to that site, your site is already going to be cached near that person, and they're going to benefit from a performance increase because the files are basically being held nearer to the person physically. And it's very, very simple to set up with AWS. With other providers, yeah, they do offer it. I'm not going to pretend they don't, but you know, they've got a great implementation and it's very easy to use. Ooh, that is shiny. Steps to set up a static site on AWS. How difficult is it to do? The answer is not difficult, but like everything in web development, you need to know what you're doing. So I'd say it's probably like a 6 out of 10, but if you were to compare that to FTPing into an Apache server and just dragging your static site in, obviously that is easy, but there's a reason we don't do that anymore. So yeah, you're gonna need probably a guide, which I can make actually for AWS. If you're interested, you know, comment down below, like and subscribe, bell, bell, bell. But you will have to overcome some pitfalls. One amazing example was at the end of the web page, I kept on having .html, i.e. the file extension, and that is not acceptable in the modern web. So it took me some finagling to sort out, but basically I've built that into my deploy steps now, so it does it automatically and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Oh, but Michael, I've got my site on AWS, but it's awkward to deploy it because I have to upload it via the GUI. No! No, you don't. There's loads of things you can do. They've got a service called Code Build, which you can use with GitHub hooks to build it for you. But the easiest thing to do is just use GitHub Actions. It's got free allowances, so you're not even going to pay. And they've got an AWS SDK that you can hook into. You can tell it what to do. I am using the GitHub Actions build tool to strip the file names from my files so that, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I don't get that in the final result. And you can do really anything you want on there. So flush the cache, you know, which I mean the CDN cache, update your files. What else would you even need to do? I don't know. But whatever you want to do, you can do it via that. And it's a very modern system, cuts out the manual part of it, and just every time you merge to master on GitHub, deploy your latest site. Continuous integration, continuous deployment. Bang! Hello! I've deployed my static website to AWS, but now I want a contact form and I don't have a server to run it on. Baby, Amazon's got an answer, or AWS. And it's called Lambda. Use a serverless function, set it up to be an API with an endpoint, post endpoint, send your form data to it, post it onto wherever you want. Thank you and good night. You want to mess with this guy? You want to mess with this guy? Like and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and you can mess with this guy all you want.